Tanner, after the game, I was asking Coach Holden about your defense. It feels like it's really grown the last few weeks. Have you seen that, and what effort have you put into that? It seemed like you had 3 steals, I think, against Iowa.
Yeah, I think I really just started to buy in more. I think that's the big thing. The coach has been on me a lot about defense. And I think a lot of basketball players in general. That's a great way to get on the floor. Great way to make an impact if you're not scoring the ball, things like that. So I think just getting stops and just helping the guys out there just defensively is huge. So I think at the end of the day, that's one of the areas we've needed to work on is the defensive end, just getting stops.
What kind of difference has it been from when you were at Wright State, you were leading the team in scoring, to now defensively? What kind of effort difference was there having to put in that department of your game?
There wasn't a lot because my coach at Wright State, he was big on he hated that I considered myself a scorer. Because he was like, if you're just a scorer and you don't score, then what are you? And I was like, oh man, I don't know, that's not what I want to do. So he's like, you really got to impact it on both ends of the floor. So I think, offensively, defensively, you just got to be able to stay solid on both ends. So I think, scoring, everyone's going to have their days. I think we've been really well overall, just everyone getting involved. So I think, we just got to keep doing what we're doing.
And then, Roddy, what was it like to make your first career start? Obviously, a great opportunity. You had 9 points in that performance, too.
It was a great feeling, my first official start, especially that kind of atmosphere that we had the other day, coming off a 5-game losing streak, to have that kind of impact on the game, to shout out to his reasons. I felt like I needed to step up in a way that I didn't in the previous game. So it was great. It was great that we got our first win in a long time.
Roddy, what was it like leading into that game, not knowing if Sean would play or not knowing there was probably an opportunity there for you? How did you feel you practiced those couple of days leading into the game?
We practiced without Sean, so I felt like I just had to stay prepared. Regardless of if he was going to play and start or he wasn't, I just felt like I had to be prepared when my name was called. So I ended up starting the game, but me and Sean was able to play a significant amount of minutes and still have the same impact he always has. So, like I said, just always be ready for when your number's called, honestly.
And I'm sure you knew things like that, like always stay ready and be ready for when that moment would come. What is that like to actually go through that, though? I'm sure. How does that match up, like battling for playing time and trying to carve out that role? How does the expectation of that coming into a freshman year match the reality of then trying to do that on a daily basis?
I wouldn't lie, coming into college, you would think all right, I'm gonna have the best year, I'm gonna be a starter, I'm gonna do this, do that. But the reality is you're gonna have to. It starts in practice, so you're gonna have to grind it out every practice. Going against a kid like Sean, where he's a veteran and been at this level for many years, it's kind of hard because he's had all the experience in playing. So just learning from him, honestly, I give major props to Sean, just little stuff I can pick up off him because he's done this for a while. So I give huge props to him, and hopefully his situation will be a lot better. All I want to do is win, honestly, starter or come off the bench. I just want to win.
Who wins those battles between the two of you in practice?
Sean, every time. Every time.
You guys made it through the 5-game losing streak. You've got to win to see that out. What do you have to do now to not go back into a slump, to kind of carry the momentum from Saturday into the 2 games this week?
We just can't get complacent. I think after the win against Iowa, it's kind of man, it feels good to finally get back in the win column. But I don't think we can be satisfied with just one win. I think we got to keep building. In the 5-game losing streak, we're losing by single digits, and really those numbers just come down to single possessions. So I think just finding those details out in film and practice, and really ironing those things out as a group. And I think just little things just add up, and I think that'll be the biggest thing for us, just to keep grinding these things out.
Coach Holden made it clear after Saturday that each game's different. There were different reasons for the losses and whatnot, but with that in mind, each game being different, can you then take what worked against Iowa that maybe didn't against some of the other teams, apply it for Illinois, apply it for Indiana?
Yeah, for sure. I think we could take a lot of things from Iowa. I thought collectively everyone played well. Roddy stepped up to start in need of Sean. ice, had a great game, offensively, defensively, rebound the ball, kind of facilitating. So I think we had a lot of guys just step up overall, and I think that really helped us. We shared the ball, and we stayed connected. I think that was the biggest thing. We stayed together through the highs and lows of that. Losing 5 games in a row, that's really, really hard. And I think, not making it 6 is even harder because of, you kind of get those same feelings in those last games, like you still have it under control, but you never know how it's going to break out. So I think, just keep pushing. I think that's the biggest thing.
When did you have those conversation with your Wright State coach about you can't just be a scorer? When was that?
It was last year. We had went on our own. I think we had won our opening game and then went a month or so without a win. So like we lost pretty much the same thing, 5-6 games straight. And I think, that was just a big turning point for me in my career, just to be able to handle things like this. And I think, you never want to have experience losing games over and over and over again. But I think, just having the maturity to kind of accept reality and just being able to keep fighting to get that win, I think that was huge.
When you hear something from a coach like that about, you need to not change the way you play, but if you did consider yourself a scorer and you have that realization, how do you attack that differently to then be able to contribute in all facets of the game?
Yeah, I think you really just have to be outside yourself, because I think that's a big thing. Everyone who ever plays any sport wants to get the glory of like being the scorer, being the guy who scores the touchdowns. And I think, just being the person that, like, for me, like right now, like if Roddy needs something from me, like I want to be that guy he can look to. I want to be the person that like people can count on. So I think that's definitely a huge thing. And in basketball, defense isn't always like, it's not the fun part to do. No one wants to play defense the whole time. But I think, just being able to sacrifice for the greater good of the team just to win, like Roddy said, we want to do anything we can just to win. And I think that's definitely a role that we've all taken. I think that's the stance that we all have. We just want to win.
For both of you guys, how hard is it to stay present though? You talked about the pressures of that, and like Tanner, you said pressure of 5, you don't want it to be 6. Obviously it gets more, the noise picks up, and Coach Holden has talked about it, but just like trying to keep focused on being close and trying to find ways to win as opposed to like getting overwhelmed by maybe the growing pressure. What does it take to stay grounded in those moments?
I would think like our togetherness definitely plays a part, like how close we are as a team. There's no like outliers or anybody and hangs their head on their own. Like even if we see somebody, down and out because of a loss, like I feel like everybody does their job collectively with like bringing each other up, and after the game we trying to just win the next one and win the next one. So just being present, I think, definitely plays a huge part, because like not trying to think too far ahead, like if we lose this game, but just worried about the next opponent we have, in front of us.
Yeah, I think that's definitely a huge thing. I think just staying together, because I think, in the midst of a losing streak, like things can get so hostile, and I think you can feel like the weight of the world's on you. But I think, just staying in the locker room, just talking to each other, communicating. And I think we did a great job of that, just staying together.
For either one of you guys, just how cool was it to see Owen have that moment and get a scholarship on Saturday, and just what has he brought to the team as a teammate this year?
Owen's probably one of the funniest guys you will ever meet, but you wouldn't know it because like he's kind of quiet, but like just his kind of character like really sets a huge goal for like our team and stuff. So like during practices, like I think he gives us a great look when it comes to like scout team and stuff like that. So he works hard in the weight room and in practice every day. So just seeing him get that major accomplishment, like it meant the world to him. It meant the world to all of us as well.
When talking with Chris Holden, he just mentioned how Illinois is one of the most athletic teams in the Big Ten, and notably pointed out Terrence Shannon, Coleman Hawkins, whatnot. What have you guys seen maybe defensively? What's it like going up against guys like that who are so dynamic and play from the perimeter and then be a presence inside as well?
Yeah, we haven't. I think we're gonna, look into them today. So I think, we haven't really looked too far ahead. Last week we were so focused on Iowa. So we're gonna look into them. I think it'll be a fun game. Should be a packed house. I know it's always an intense matchup, Ohio State, Illinois. So I think we're ready for it. We're excited, to get on the road, get another road win. So we're super excited.
Roddy, the one dunk that you had, you kind of came in from the right wing, and it looked like you were maybe going to lay it up, and then you got around the guy. What does that say about where your game is? What do you see on a play like that? Can you take us through someone who's never able to dunk a ball? What is it like to have a moment like that?
I definitely give huge props to like Coach Bieber and stuff. He always tells me if I want to make money at this playing this sport, then I'm gonna have to use my athleticism to be able to dunk the basketball. So like initially, I never like my goal was to dunk, but I didn't think like he was gonna swipe across like over my head. So then, you know, I mean, it's kind of hard to explain. Like I just did it, but it was an amazing experience. Like, you know, looking over at the bench, seeing all my teammates jump and stuff, seeing all around the arena, everybody going wild. So just them type of energy plays that I think, you know, that our team can use once in a while. Like I'd be more than happy to do so.
Tanner, I meant to ask you this the other day too, but going to Rutgers, what was that experience like for you? How much did you hear it from those fans? I know they had some signs, and I'm sure they were chanting some things at you. What was that experience like?
Yeah, it's always fun. I think that's always fun, you know, going to a hostile environment and hearing the crowd, you know, first check in, haven't done anything yet, and I'm getting booed. But, you know, it was funny, I think, you know, it was sports, so I think it was fun. It was a good environment.
Kind of sticking with that road theme, Tanner, just as a guy that's been around college basketball, this may seem kind of weird, but is it more valuable to a team to pick up a road win in conference play than it is maybe pick up a home conference win?
You know, I think you know, any win's valuable, honestly. You know, wherever you play at, you know, home, away, neutral site, I think any win's valuable. But I think, you know, for chemistry-wise, I think road wins are very, very important because it's just you. It's just the team out there. And, you know, we always talk about being together. And I think, you know, that's where it all comes into play. Like, we have to be the most together team because no one's cheering for us. We have 16, 18,000 people wanting you to fail. I think that really is where, like, our ties come in. You know, we have to be together. We have to communicate to each other on the court, on the bench, and just stick to our principles. So I think that's definitely a huge thing.
And then, Roddy, you said Owen's one of the funniest guys you'll ever meet. What's your best Owen Spencer story that you have?
I don't think I can say that on air. But it's just like small things he say, like in practice, sometimes he'd get an N1 and like he wouldn't say it loudly, but like he'd turn around and flex every time. And it's just like, you know, you just laugh at it a little bit because you don't really, like, look at him, bro. like he's just funny in my opinion. So, I mean, I just feel great, honestly.